$30,000. That's the exact amount of money I personally lost on my first home. A loss that, believe me, I can track down to the penny. And look, it wasn't one single catastrophic event. It was a series of seemingly small errors, little misjudgments that just snowballed into a financial disaster. And the scariest part? These are the exact same errors that millions of first-time buyers are making right this very second. So what if? What if you could learn from my expensive blunders? What if you could walk into your first home purchase with the unwavering confidence of a seasoned investor? Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal the 3 critical mistakes that cost me a small fortune, and more importantly, how you can avoid them, saving you not just thousands of dollars, but your precious financial peace of mind. This isn't just about money. It's about starting your journey of homeownership with power, not panic. Let's begin. Okay, so mistake number 1, the emotional overpayment trap. Now, this first mistake it's the most seductive one. It feels right, it feels exciting, and it is brutally effective at draining your bank account. I call it the emotional overpayment trap. This is when you stop buying a property and you start chasing a dream. I mean, think about it. You've been scrolling on Zillow for months, right? You've saved a dozen homes. And then you walk into the one. The light hits the hardwood floors just right. You can already see your future unfolding in that open concept kitchen. You imagine holiday dinners, summer barbecues in the backyard, your kids running down the hallway. That feeling, that powerful, intoxicating vision, that is the most expensive feeling you can have in real estate. It makes you vulnerable. It shuts down the logical part of your brain. You know, the part that calculates, analyzes, and protects you. And when that happens, you're no longer a buyer, you're a fan. And fans will pay anything for a ticket to the big game. My story is a textbook example. The house was this charming 1950s bungalow. It had an ancient oak tree in the front yard that felt like something out of a movie. The moment I walked in, I was done. I fell completely in love. I told my agent, this is it. And my agent, who was perfectly nice, but, ultimately driven by a commission, said it's a hot property. We should probably come in with a strong offer. Strong was the key word. We offered $5,000 over the asking price to beat the competition. What I didn't do was ask the critical question, what have comparable homes, comps, in this exact neighborhood sold for in the last 90 days? The truth was, I didn't want to know. My emotions had already signed the check. If I had forced myself to look at the data, I would have discovered that 2 nearly identical homes on the adjacent streets had sold for about $15,000 less than my final purchase price, just a month earlier. There was no bidding war. The only person I was bidding against was the fantasy in my own head. I paid a $15,000 love tax for that oak tree, an invisible fee for letting my heart make a decision that my wallet would regret for years. And here's the truly fascinating part. This isn't just a rookie mistake. A study cited in the UCLA Anderson Review found that even experienced homeowners, when moving, tend to overpay by an average of 2% when they're flush with equity from their previous sale. Now, imagine being a first-time buyer, fueled by pure emotion and market pressure. That 2% can easily become 5%, 8%, or in my case, even more. So how do you protect yourself? You create a rule. Before you ever visit a property, you look at the data first. You analyze the comps. You determine the absolute maximum, non-negotiable price you are willing to pay based on cold, hard facts. You write that number down, and that number, that becomes your shield. When you walk into the house and the emotions start to flood in, you hold on to that number like a lifeline. Admire the house. You can even love the house, but you do not betray the number. This is how you buy with your head, not just your heart. But even if you get the price right, you can still fall into the second trap, which is, well, it's even more common and in many ways more devastating. Okay, mistake number 2, the good enough inspection fallacy. So, you've found a house, you negotiated a price you feel good about, now comes the inspection. For most people, this is just a box to check, a formality. This mindset is a catastrophic error. The home inspection is not a pass-fail test. It is, without a doubt, the single most powerful negotiation and risk assessment tool you have in the entire transaction. I mean, treating it as anything less is like going into a sword fight with a butter knife. My mistake was twofold. I was cheap and I was passive. To save money, I hired one of the cheapest inspectors I could find. He was recommended by my real estate agent, which, yeah, that can sometimes be a red flag. Why? Because some agents may prefer inspectors who don't raise too many alarms that could jeopardize the sale. This guy, he was in and out of a 2,000 square foot house in 45 minutes. He handed me a simple checklist report with a few blurry photos. He basically just confirmed that the house had walls and a roof. I mean, I could have figured that out myself for the price of a coffee. I thought, great, it passed, and just moved on. 6 months after moving in, this strange, musty smell started coming from the guest bathroom. Then, the grout between the tiles started to darken. A week later, the floor felt soft, spongy. I called a plumber. He took one look and his face just dropped. He pulled up a single tile, and underneath was a scene of utter devastation. A slow, pinhole leak in a pipe behind the wall had been dripping for years. The subfloor was completely rotted. Black mold was creeping up the drywall. The inspector had missed the subtle signs. A faint water stain on the baseboard, the slightly too high humidity reading he never even took. The final bill to tear out the bathroom, replace the subfloor, remediate the mold, and rebuild everything? A soul-crushing $8,000. Then, as we were fixing the bathroom, the electrician noticed something terrifying. The wiring in that part of the house was an outdated form of aluminum wiring, a known fire hazard. The inspector had marked the electrical system as functional. Another $2,000 to make the house safe. That was a $10,000 bill directly traceable to a good enough inspection that cost me a few $100s. Now listen to this. This is the pattern interrupt. This is the part that should make you sit up and pay attention. According to data from Ruby Home, a real estate analytics company, 86% of home inspections find something that needs to be fixed. That's not the surprising part. The surprising part is this. The average buyer who uses the inspection report to negotiate saves an incredible $14,000 on the final price of their home. Let that sink in. By being cheap and passive, I didn't save a few $100s. I actively walked away from a potential 5-figure discount and instead inherited a money pit. A great inspector is a detective you hire to find every single flaw in that house. You want the most detailed, nitpicky 80-page report filled with high-res photos. That report becomes your negotiation Bible. You don't necessarily ask for everything to be fixed, but you can use major issues like an aging roof or a furnace on its last legs to negotiate the price down, get a credit at closing, or have the seller make the repairs. You are the CEO of your home purchase. Hiring the right inspector is the most important executive decision you will make. Okay, we're about to get into the third and most silent killer of wealth for first-time buyers. It's a mistake related to the mortgage itself, a slow bleed that cost me thousands in pure wasted profit. But before we do, if you're getting any value from me sharing these painful and expensive lessons, do me a small favor and hit that like button. It's a simple click for you, but it tells the YouTube algorithm that this is important information, and it helps other people avoid these same traps. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video that could save you a fortune, subscribe and click that notification bell. It's the best investment you can make in your financial education. And one more thing. As we talk about building financial security through smart decisions like this, I know many of you are looking for ways to build your income from the ground up. I've been getting a lot of questions about this. I've put a link in the description to a fantastic free training that reveals the blueprint ordinary people are using to build 7-figure online businesses with YouTube and AI, often starting from absolute zero. It's not a get-rich-quick fantasy. It's a proven roadmap for building a real, valuable asset. I found it incredibly insightful, and I believe you will too. It's the very first link in the description. All right, let's get back to it. The final silent mistake. So, mistake number 3, the mortgage myopia. This final mistake, it doesn't feel like a punch in the gut. It doesn't announce itself with a flooded bathroom or a cracked foundation. This mistake is a silent killer. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. I call it mortgage myopia, a nearsighted focus on only one thing, the monthly payment. When you're a first-time buyer, the only number that seems to matter is, how much will I pay each month? And lenders know this. They are masters at structuring a loan to give you an attractive monthly payment, even if the overall loan is a terrible deal for you. My mistake was a classic. I put 10% down on my $200,000 house. I was proud of that $20,000 down payment, but I was completely ignorant of something called PMI, or private mortgage insurance. PMI is not insurance for you. It's insurance for the lender in case you default. You are forced to pay for it if you put down less than 20%. In my case, it was an extra $150 every single month. That's $1,800 a year. For what? Absolutely nothing. It was like I was renting money just to have a mortgage. That money just vanished into thin air, building zero equity for me. But it gets worse. To get my monthly payment even lower, I was seduced by an adjustable rate mortgage, or ARM. The introductory rate was so temptingly low. The loan officer assured me, "You'll probably move or refinance in a few years anyway, before the rate ever adjusts up." Famous last words. Life got in the way. I didn't move, I didn't refinance right away. I paid that useless PMI for 3 straight years, throwing over $5,000 into a black hole. When I finally did get around to refinancing to a fixed rate loan to get rid of the PMI and lock in a rate, I had to pay $2,500 in closing costs. And the irony? Because of the market at the time, my original ARM rate had actually adjusted down. My panicked refinance was a completely wasted, expensive move. Between the PMI I should have avoided and the botched, ill-timed refinance, I bled another $5,000 to $7,000. This is the sneaky nature of mortgage myopia. You obsess over negotiating $2,000 off the house price, but don't spend 2 hours comparing shopping for the loan that will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over 30 years. Here is a fact from Freddie Mac that should shock you. A borrower who simply gets 5 quotes for their mortgage from different lenders saves, on average, $3,000 over the life of the loan. Some save much more. That is free money. It's money you earn just by sending a few extra emails and comparing the loan estimates line by line. You need to look beyond the interest rate. Look at the origination fees, the processing fees, the points. You have to understand the total cost of the loan, not just the monthly payment. Don't just get pre-qualified, get fully pre-approved from at least 3 different lenders, a big bank, a local credit union, and an online mortgage broker. Make them compete for your business. This is your financial future. You have to fight for it. So there you have it, my $30,000 education in what not to do. Let's recap the winning strategy. 1. We win by controlling our emotions, trusting data, and refusing to overpay for a dream. 2. We win by viewing the home inspection as our most powerful intelligence gathering and negotiation tool. And 3. We win by dissecting our mortgage options and understanding that the total cost of the loan is far more important than just the monthly payment. These aren't just tips, they are the absolute pillars of a smart, secure, and profitable home purchase. Now I'm curious to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me which of these mistakes you fear the most. Is it A, overpaying for the perfect house, or B, discovering a hidden, expensive repair after you move in? Let's start a conversation about it. And if you think buying a house is the only place financial traps are hiding, wait until you see our next video. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. Go out there, be smart, be prepared, and build the life you deserve.